Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video we're going to talk about not spending your money on stuff that you literally already have. So the whole concept for this video came about because of the POV beauty drama that has been going around. If you are on TikTok and you know Michaela Naguero, I think I'm saying her name right. She has been promoting her brand POV Beauty, and they're in a little bit of hot water because of their lip kits. So I just wanted to take a second and talk about why you shouldn't even put yourself in that position to waste your money on products that you don't need anyway. I went ahead and primed my lids, so we're gonna go in with some eyeshadow. So for the high-end side, I don't know if I want to call it the high-end side because it's not necessarily high-end, but it's definitely like a splurge product that I don't think that I necessarily needed. This is from Pat McGrath. This is their Sublime palette. This is the very first version, and it is a gorgeous palette, I will say. Like, I really enjoyed using this one, but I find that I'm not really using it anymore, and it's because I have other things in my collection that more suit my needs. So for me, those things are these palettes. So I have the Blend Bunny and Ellis Atlantis Volume 2 palette, and then I have the Eva Expressions. I think this is the Lunar palette, yes. So the Lunar palette is an all shimmer duochrome palette, and I feel like this really scratches the need that I used to have in my Pat McGrath palette for those really gorgeous shimmers. So we compare the two side by side, you can definitely see they are pretty different, but also the same. For my purposes, really functionally do the same thing. And I have more variety in the Eva Expressions palette than I do in the Pat McGrath palette. Same thing with the Ellis Atlantis palette. This one just has way more variety, as you can see here. There's not that many variety of mattes in the Pat McGrath palette. I feel like this is where you need to ask yourself, what are you looking for in your makeup collection? For me, I really like variety. I don't mind dipping into multiple palettes, but for you, maybe you need like an all-in-one palette, and this is like your one palette that you are going to use. That's not me. And I feel like for a lot of makeup lovers, you don't have that one palette that you just use over and over and over and over and over again until it crumbles. A lot of us just value having more variety, and so in that case I would value having these two palettes over that one. So the one palette from Pat McGrath is $128, while the two from Ellis Atlantis and Eva Expressions, the Eva Expressions is $35, and the Ellis Atlantis, I believe, is in like the $45 range. So for these two palettes together, it's still under the cost of one Pat McGrath palette. So I'm gonna do an eye look. I'm gonna do one side with the Pat McGrath and one side with the Ellis and Eva, and we're going to go ahead and compare the two. Okay, so that is where we're gonna stop with look number one. The fallout is crazy, so I'm gonna clean some of that up, and then we're gonna move on to the other eye using the other palettes. Okay, so that is both eyes done. Definitely not exactly the same. I'm not trying to say that these are exact dupes. I'm not trying to say that these are exact dupes, but you can get a similar effect with two different things. If you are somebody that already has the Pat McGrath palette, this is like your go-to look. Maybe you don't need, you know, the other two palettes. Or if you already have the other two palettes, you definitely don't need the Pat McGrath one because you can get a very similar look and effect with this one. So again, I just want to reiterate, the point of this is not to say you can't buy things or, you know, you can only have one eyeshadow palette and you have to choose between them. Obviously, I have both. But it is just kind of a wake-up call for me to be like, look, I can get something very similar with both of these palettes. So really, when I'm being honest with myself, do I need all of these things? For your foundation, I know that they're constantly dropping like new releases and like innovative formulas and all that good stuff, but the real deal with me is it takes forever for me to go through a foundation. Like, it really does take quite a while for me to finish a foundation, and I have found that I really can get the effect of most foundations depending on what primers I'm using or what powders I'm using on top of it. So if it's a very mattifying foundation, if I just change what primer I'm using, I can get that mattifying effect. Now, very rarely am I going for a mattifying look, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Right now, I'm still in denial about the fact that it's winter, and I'm still trying to use my summer shades. It's time to let it go. It's time to go back to my winter shades, because my tan is definitely gone, but it's okay. We can pop some concealer over this and be fine. So just think about that. If you have a bunch of different primers that have like a glowy finish or a mattifying finish, or if you can use different powders, you may not necessarily need a new foundation. Maybe you just need to change the products that you're pairing and layering with the foundation. The next product that I want to, hey, stop it, are contour and bronzer products. I feel like they all kind of do the same thing. And you can disagree with me on this, that's okay. But for me, I feel like if you have a bronzer that works well for you, it's the right tone, it's the right depth, stick with it. You don't need a plethora of bronzers unless you are changing skin tones daily, which, I don't know, some people like self-tan or, you know, fake tan, or they use different foundation shades, you know, I don't know your life. But unless you're one of those people where you need different bronzers for different skin tones, you just need the one. Now for me, I have 3 powder bronzers, and that even feels excessive. Right now I'm using this Morphe Shapeshifter. This is a contour stick, so I don't count it in with my bronzers because it's more cool toned. But again, this is like the only contour stick that I would need, because it's like, how many different shades of contour are you going to go through? Find the one that fits your skin tone and use it. And I'm all for getting different finishes of things, and, you know, maybe you want something that's a little bit more cooler toned for the winter, a little bit more warmer and bronzier for the summer. I totally get all of that. But when you have like 20 bronzers, that's crazy. These are the only contour powders that I have. Ignore my cat. Okay, this door is open, but he's trying to break in through the back door, and I don't know why he's doing this. Okay, these are the only contour powders that I have, and they're the only contour powders that I need. At the end of the day, you have one face, and there's only so many products that you can actually use. So find the one that you love, get rid of the rest, and keep it trucking, you know? Okay, I just put a bunch of white face powder on. Don't worry about it. This look that I'm doing is part of my Pokemon series that I'm doing on my Instagram. If you guys were interested and want to go check that out, but ignore that. I just need to look icy. Squee, what are you doing? Okay, setting spray. There's a difference between setting spray and like a fixing spray. If you have different versions of setting sprays, that's one thing. But again, if you have a dozen setting sprays and they all do the same exact thing, that's crazy. Either a setting spray works or it doesn't. There is no need to have a million different types of the same exact thing. For blush, I'm going in with the Morphe Cheek Thrills. I have mine in the shade After Party. This is my first time using this one, but I have another shade that I've used a couple times and I really like it. But for this one reminds me a lot of the Patrick Ta ones. And honestly, I don't like Patrick Ta anyway, just because of the way that he was treating influencers and not paying them for the content that they were creating on behalf of his brand. But this was $18 and it comes with a third formulation that you don't find in the Patrick Ta one. So if you don't already own Patrick Ta and you were interested in the formula, I would say skip out on it, honestly. But of course, the goal is to not buy things that you already have. So if you already have cream products, powder products, and a glowy highlighting blush topper product, then you don't need this at all. You can layer different things in your collection. They don't have to come pre-curated for you, you know? It is very convenient though. And I do really like the shades that are in here. But at the end of the day, if you have each of these products individually, you can match the tone and just create your own little trio. You definitely don't need to spend the Patrick Ta money. So if you do want the compact, I would recommend the Morphe one. But even better than that, create your own trio of products that you already have if you have each of those formulations. Highlighters, I don't even want to talk to you guys about because I'm a fiend for highlighters. I can't help myself. I love them so much. I just bought this one. This is from Dive Room Cosmetics, the Dewdrops palette. And I just used the shade Splash. Yeah. I'm gonna dip a little bit into Drop as well. That's this one up here. This one. Yeah, I'm gonna dip into that one too. I'm gonna dip into all of them. Can't help you with highlighters. Some people will say that you can just use eyeshadows. And I agree to an extent, depending on the formulation of the eyeshadows. As we all know, eyeshadows are not created equally. And if you're looking for a highlighter, I do not like a highlighter with a base. I don't like it to have a base color unless that base color is my skin tone. All of these iridescent ones, I would rather them just be baseless, which is what these are. They're so good. I would rather them just not have a base at all so that you can just see the reflection. However, if you can find an eyeshadow that does that, absolutely, you can just use eyeshadow as a highlighter. For me, I like having a highlighter, so I'm not gonna say anything. And then this is the Dewdrops Part 2. Yes, I bought both of them. And I'm dipping into the shade Bubble, but just onto that blue side. And I'm putting that on both of my inner corners. And then I'm just gonna go back in. I applied the nose with my finger, but I'm just gonna go back in with a brush and just blend it out a bit. But I want it to be a pretty stark highlight, because like I said, this is a Pokemon inspired look, so I want it to be a little bit more avant-garde. And then I'm gonna touch a little bit into this shade in Raindrop. And I'm just touching that over the cheeks just for an extra glittery, icy shine. So anyway, all that to say, yes, depending on your preferences, you can absolutely use eyeshadow as highlighter. I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if these Dewdrop, well, these are advertised as shadow and highlight palettes, so take that as you will. This is a formulation that lends itself to being both an eyeshadow and a highlighter, so if you can find one like that, absolutely. But for me, I really like something to be a little bit more sheer. Can you guys see how on the Pat McGrath side, it's turning more satiny? It's not really as shiny as it was when I first applied it. This side, it's definitely holding its shine. This is another reason why I just feel like, this is why I feel like Pat McGrath isn't totally necessary in my collection anymore, because my taste in makeup have just changed. I want something super sparkly, and that's not sparkly. Like, if I'm gonna wear makeup, I'm gonna wear makeup. And this just isn't giving that pop that I need. Okay, we're at the point where we're talking about the reason that I made this video, and that is to talk about the POV lip kits. You don't need them. Not only because Michaela is a little bit sketchy. I don't know her as a person. I can't speak on her. People have their own opinions. But the reviews that have come out about those lip products are so bad. And regardless of if people are exaggerating it, like, it is not worth your money. Those are expensive lip products. And you have lip kits. You do. If you have a lip liner and a lip gloss, you have a lip kit. Stop buying them. And I'm telling that to myself too, because I just bought 4 lip kits from Glamlight. Okay, I'm telling this to myself too. You don't need to buy all the lip kits. So we're gonna create a lip kit right here, right now. Okay, so I want a very cool toned lip for this. So I'm gonna go in with Optimistic Oak from Singe Beauty, but I need to sharpen it a bit, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, I'm gonna finish beefing with my pencil sharpener later because it destroyed my lip pencil. I'm gonna go around the outer edges. Since I had a lip balm on, I was able to just press my lips together and kind of spread it around. And I want to do something very frosty, very icy. So I'm going in with this Melt liquid lipstick in Foxglove. This is from their Bailey Sarian collab. And last to finish off this lip kit is a little bit of a gloss. This is from Unearthly. I have 2. I can't decide if I want to go in with Twilight Whisper or Omen, so I'm going to swatch both of them. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see the sparkles in those, but on this side is Omen. It definitely has like a warmer, peachier sparkle, and this side is Twilight Whisper, which is definitely just like icy. So we're going to go in with Twilight Whisper. That is my lip combo with the gloss. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my look, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. Hey guys, this is the finished look. I popped on some mascara, did my brows, some lower lash line stuff. Overall, I think the main point of all this is to use what you have. Stop spending money on more things. You can absolutely use what you already have and make a ton of looks that maybe you didn't think that you could make with what you had in your collection. Try to use things in different ways. Like I said, if you are somebody who can use eyeshadows as highlighters, do that. If you are somebody that doesn't contour or bronze a lot, really you only need one shade. Be a more conscious consumer going into this new year. I know I definitely will be. I am putting myself on a no buy and just working through some Project Pan things and just trying to fall back in love with my collection, which has always been the point of my channel. So if you are interested in this Pokemon look, I did base it off of Articuno because where I live we just got a ton of snow and now I'm worried about road conditions and everything, so you know, I thought I would channel a little bit of an ice Pokemon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you're interested in seeing the full look, you guys can always follow me on Instagram and see still photos and things like that. But that is all that I have for you today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.